presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
It's another scorcher in North Texas. The Angels looking to bounce back after getting walked off last night against the Texas Rangers. 3-2 the final, and tonight from Globe Life Park it is game 2 of a 3-game set. We welcome you inside the ballpark and back to Angels baseball on Fox Sports West along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. Now, of course, the Angels have, over the last week or thereabouts, have seen a lot of interesting things. Last night we talked about Mike Trout's slide, but over the last couple of days, Gubi, we've seen a couple things happen on the field that are somewhat unusual.
Yeah, Victor, you would say odd. I think it's certainly worthy of a Carlos Cam replay. Just a couple days ago on Sunday at home, the Bees attacking as we're playing the Toronto Blue Jays. Both teams have to get off the field. A little bit of a delay there, actually a pretty good delay as we wait to see the Bees leave. And then last night, you know, Escobar hits a very good shot to right center field, and that baseball rolls underneath the padding. But the rules here at Globe Life Park say if the baseball gets underneath the padding, it is a ground rule double. Unell tried to go to third, they threw him out. Then go back to the replay, and it was overturned. He's awarded back to second, eventually scores on a triple off the base by Mike Trout down the right field line. Jeff Anderson got thrown out just for the fun of it. And then Ian Desmond, a high pitch goes the other way. Again, another base hit going the other way. As Texas finds a way to win late once again. They've had so many comeback wins, so many late wins, Victor. That's the reason why they've been so good this year.
Yeah, they have been remarkable, leading the majors with 46 comeback wins, 20 wins in the last at-bat. And you see their record in one-run games, an MLB best 35-10. So the Angels will have their hands full in game 2. Daniel Wright is on the mound for the Angels, and A.J. Griffin going for the Texas Rangers. We're just about ready for baseball here in the Lone Star State. Sit back, relax, lineups and first pitch when we return. This telecast of Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is brought to you by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Brewhouse Bacon Burger today for limited time only at participating restaurants. By your Southern California Toyota dealers. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by the Jeep Renegade. Find your inner renegade and reach your highest potential with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. of this three-game set. Mentioned that the Texas Rangers took the opener last night by the final of 3-2 in a walk-off fashion. A.J. Octor suffering the loss, while Sam Dyson picked up the victory in relief. And the Angels looking to bounce back here in game number 151. We'll see what Daniel Wright will have in store for the Angels tonight, and really for the Texas Rangers. Daniel trying to make some noise, claimed off waivers from the Cincinnati Reds, and in hopes, of course, being a guy that they look at during the offseason and going into spring training that maybe fits a rotation piece or even a bullpen piece.
Yeah, he certainly has shown some pretty good stuff. It's a matter of going out there and gaining confidence. That's the important thing for Daniel Wright right now.
Texas has taken the field. Here's Mike Scioscia's lineup for this 151st game of the season. Escobar will lead things off at third base. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols at DH. C.J. Cron, the cleanup hitter, at first. Andrelton Simmons at shortstop. Rafael Ortega tonight gets a start in right field. Cliff Pennington is at second. Carlos Perez behind the plate. And it's Nick Buss batting ninth and playing left field as they take on the 28-year-old right-hander native of El Cajon, California. His name is A.J. Griffin.
And A.J. Griffin has thrown quite a few games in his career, 3-2 against the Angels. My go-to is to be successful against Griffin here today. Lay off the high stuff and put together some solid at-bats. He will try to elevate up in the strike zone with both his off-speed and fastball, bring him down in the zone and square it up and put together in a solid at-bat.
Defensively for the Texas Rangers tonight, pretty much what we saw last night. Gomez, Desmond, Mazar in the outfield from left to right. The infield with Beltre, Andrews, Odor, and Moreland from third to first. And Lucroy once again behind the plate.
And Moreland, a very solid defender at first base. .998 fielding percentage, which leads the American League in that category. It's improved each of the last 3 seasons. Very good throwing arm also. It's been a part of 128 double plays for Texas this season.
Texas at 89 wins, 62 losses. They lead the American League West by 9.5 games over both Houston and Seattle. The wild card has Baltimore and Toronto tied for the 2 spots. Detroit 2.5 back, Houston 3 back, as are the Seattle Mariners. Then you got the Yankees at 4.5 and 5. Texas currently has a magic number of 3, with both the Astros and the Mariners losing last night. Escobar ready to lead things off. It is another warm one, 95 degrees here at first pitch. And the first one tonight is outside for ball 1. And now last night ended up picking up a double. We showed you that in the open. 1 for 4. He'll foul this one back. .306 average with 4 home runs, 35 runs batted in.
He hit the ball very hard last night, even that first at bat. One-hop shot, right at Andrews to start the game off. He was aggressive early in the count, as normal too.
Just off the plate. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Angels with the loss last night, now 30-45 out on the road. 1 more tomorrow night here in Arlington, and then 4 in Houston as this one's rocketed out to the wall. 1 hopper. Yunel trying to get to second. Gomez played it quickly, and Yunel is in there with a leadoff double.
And my Hyundai key to this game tonight, basically right on cue with that double, hustle double by Escobar with Mike Trout coming to the plate. Little Iron Maiden run to the hills. You got to be aggressive, especially against this Texas club. Try to take those extra bases. Try to score runs in bunches because we know how well they come back in games. You got to score early and then separate as you go along in this game and keep adding on.
So the Angels with a man in scoring position right from the get-go. Last night 2 for 6 in such situations as Trout steps in. And he will look at a strike. Mike at .318, 27 home runs and 91 runs batted in. And a 1 for 4 game last night. RBI triple. 5th triple of the season, 91st run batted in. That slow breaking ball. Evens a count at 1-1. A.J. Griffin making his 3rd start against the Angels this year. First here in Arlington. First 2 at the Big A. 1 W and 1 no decision. 1-2.
Not overpowering. Average fastball, 87.7 miles per hour. As far as on the average, is second slowest as far as fastball velocity in baseball. That's why you see a lot of those slow curves. Trout, a couple home runs in his career versus Griffin. Although Griffin's been pretty good against him, .263 batting average.
.22 start of the season for Griffin. And that is off the plate. Full count. Leadoff double for Yunel Escobar. 27th of the season. Now the 3-2 to Trout. He'll take upstairs. It's a walk. So the first two have reached now. And Albert coming to the plate.
It's 103 walks now in a season for Trout. Tops in the American League.
Albert comes in batting .265. A 1-for-4 game yesterday. He had a single in the first inning. .288 in the month of September. 4 home runs and 9 runs batted in. He's got 2 on with nobody out. Escobar at second and Trout at first. Slow breaking ball. Catches the outside corner. 0-1 count. Albert maybe thinking that pitch a little bit high. It's Pat Hoberg calling the balls and strikes tonight. Quinn Walcott at first. Greg Gibson at second and Kerwin Danley at third.
You have to really try to stay back in that slow curve from Griffin. That's when the one you got to try the middle of the field the other way. Try to pull the ball unless it drifts on the inner half of the plate. That's when he gets those easier outs.
Albert just 2 for 13 in his career against Griffin, but one of those a home run. And that is skied out to center. Just got underneath it. Ian Desmond underneath. 1 down. A towering pop up here.
That was up there for a long time. That's the frustrating thing as a hitter. You know when you hit a ball that high, you just miss hitting that one out of the ballpark. For someone who knows a little bit about hitting a baseball out of the ballpark with 590 career home runs. Down the heart of the plate, just underneath it. See the frustration as Albert's going down the line. He had a pitch to do some damage.
So Crone steps in, trying to give the Angels the early lead. That breaking ball missing. CJ at .277 now with 16 home runs, 64 runs batted in. 0 for 4 last night. Trying to wait on that one.
30 career RBIs against the Rangers for CJ Cron. .308 career batter. 5 home runs.
Fastball foul back. And Griffin ahead of the count at 1-2. Trying to make sure that his name is included for a postseason rotation spot for Jeff Bannister. Now you got 2 of them in Cole Hamels and Yu Darvish. Martin Perez certainly threw the ball well last night, left-hander. Even though he did not factor into the decision.
Especially if he can manage to put that rotation around where he pitches at home.
Cron waves at the breaking pitch, 2 outs.
It's a good slow curveball once again. Percentages of curveballs and sliders, about 38% combined between his slider and his curveball.
So Escobar still at second. And Trout at first. 2 outs now, and it's Andrelton Simmons up. 12 hits in the last 13 games for Andrelton. And 1 last night, going 1 for 4. And he'll shoot one out to center field. Desmond comes in, and the Angels waste an opportunity here in the first, getting the first 2 on. But then Griffin retires the next 3. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the first. Take a look at Jeff Bannister's lineup for their 152nd game, and it's a similar lineup to what we saw last night with Gomez leading things off at left, Desmond in center, Carlos Beltran at DH, Adrian Beltre at third base, Ruben Odor at second, Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate, Mitch Moreland at first, Nomar Mazar in right, and it's Elvis Andrus who had a 3-hit game last night, batting ninth, playing shortstop. They are taking on the Bartlett, Tennessee native by the name of Daniel Wright, is making his third start with the Angels.
Yeah, he's actually throwing the ball very well at times for the Angels. My go-tos for Wright to be successful secondary pitches and hitters counts, very important for him, and finish off the hitters with a very good curveball that he has.
Carlos Gomez comes in batting .220 with 11 home runs and 45 runs batted in. 2-hit game last night, on board 3 times with 2 singles and a walk. Downstairs, a 2-1 count.
Certainly remembers the last time they faced each other, able to get good swings on fastballs against Wright.
Especially Gomez on the very first pitch of the game on September the 10th. And he gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. Gave up that home run to Gomez to lead off that game. It's 2 starts with the Angels. He's gone 5 innings. And a strike on the corner. Full count. Wright got a no decision in that start against Texas. Took the loss his last time out against Toronto. Payoff pitch. Gomez lines on the left. It's a leadoff single.
Got a fastball there, lines it into the outfield, turns on it.
That's how the Halos stack up defensively. Bustrowd and Ortega in the outfield from left to right. Escobar and Simmons on the left side of the infield. Pennington and Crone on the right. And Perez for the second straight night behind the dish.
And Pennington has been pretty solid, getting a lot of starts at that second base position. 50th game at second, which is a career high. He's committed 1 error and it's turned or been involved with 20 double plays turned.
Here's Ian Desmond. .288 average, 22 home runs and 84 runs batted in. Game-winning hit last night. 6th game-ending RBI in the season for Ian Desmond.
And went upstairs with a fastball against him, which is odd because you think about his batting average on high pitches, .394 on high pitches, and he made the Angels pay for that last night.
31 years old today. 1-0 outside, 2 balls, no strikes.
And there's exactly what we're talking about as far as upper part of the strike zone, both in and away and middle up, middle down. It's a tough time away. You can see even middle away and certainly down and away. That's where you want to throw Desmond.
This one down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Gomez will turn and head to third. Ortega gets the baseball back in, and the Rangers have runners at the corners with nobody out.
Again, you see exactly where this pitch is located, upper part of the strike zone again. And lines the ball the other way. That's his 60th opposite field hit this season. Coming into the game, 59 of them, which was 5th best in the majors.
Beltran lifts one down the right field line. Ortega, fooled on the swing, has to come racing in, and he's not going to get there. It's a foul ball. I hear this ballpark, especially with the south winds blowing, once it gets to a certain height, that wind affects it.
You can see he made that motion, the way the baseball just all of a sudden just stopped carrying. He thought it was going to be a little bit further. At the very end, tried to pick up speed and slide in there and make the play, unable to do so. The swirling wind. It's the exact gesture that Ortega made. You can see by the flags above the stadium.
The ground ball towards second should be two. Pennington to Simmons on the Crone. Double play as Gomez scores, and Texas takes an early lead. It's 1-0 here in the first.
Right there in that situation, if you're Daniel Wright, you'll take that. Put yourself in position if you get Beltre out to limit the damages to 1 run. Trust your offense to come back and score some runs throughout this game.
No RBI for Beltran, and here's Beltre, the third baseman. He takes a strike. A couple more hits last night for Adrian. 2 for 3, 2 singles and a walk. But now at 2,931 career hits. 37th all-time by himself. He just passed Rogers Hornsby last night.
When you pass that name, you're a pretty special player.
He'll be getting to the 3,000 hit plateau next year. Unless, of course, he can manage somehow to get 69 hits between now and a week from Sunday.
That'd be an impressive streak.
You think so?
Yeah.
That just might be a Major League Baseball record. And get Player of the Week to end the season.
With a week or two like that, they might just give him it completely for the year.
A lead-off single, or a 2-out single, I should say, in his first at-bat. So what's he need now? 68?
68.
He has been on fire against the Angels throughout his career. This year hitting 348 coming into play today.
And the amazing thing about him, he seemed like he's gotten better as he's aged. I mean, his defense is better this year even than last year at third base. Numbers outstanding once again.
Had some nagging injuries last year. Odor takes low.
He's a fantastic leader of this team also. That's the one intangible besides what he could do with the glove and with the bat. Fantastic leader for this Ranger club, Adrian Beltre.
Ball and a strike on Odor. 31 home runs, 85 runs batted in. 279 batting average for the second baseman. Had a 1 for 3 game last night with a double. His 32nd of the year.
Good changeup. Talked about that need to throw those secondary pitches in hitters' counts. Very good changeup there in one of those counts.
2-2. Check swing. Wanted appeal and did not go. So full count. 20 pitches thrown by Daniel. 1-0 Texas. Beltre takes off, and Odor rolls this one softly up the first baseline foul.
You know, the ideal conditions for you as a pitcher this first inning in this ballpark, especially on the visiting side, when you warm up in that bullpen where it is extremely hot down there. It's hot, period. The ballpark tonight. You want to have a quick first inning and be able to gather your breath.
Swing and a miss as Odor goes down for the third out. Texas strikes for a run. We'll head to the second. The Angels down 1-0. Just want to remind you, get your red on in 2017 to receive a special benefit and great ticket prices by becoming an Angels season seat holder. Just call 888-796-HALO or go to angels.com for details.
Daniel Wood able to limit damage there. Got that ground ball double play to Carlos Beltran. Big pitch he made on that one.
Ortega, Pennington, and Perez against A.J. Griffin, who had 18 pitches thrown in the first. He had a double on a walk, but nothing more. Rafael got the start in left field last night. He's in right tonight. Check that, Marte did. Ortega came in defensively. Getting the start at right for Cole Calhoun, still with his wife. Waiting to birth first child. One, two. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A.J. Griffin from the Oakland A's style of pitching does not waste any time on the mound. 13th round pick by the A's in 2010 at the University of San Diego. Ortega lifts this one on the left side. It's Elvis Andrus out to the outfield grass. One down.
And as you can see, even though he doesn't have overpowering stuff, he will pitch inside. He was able to jam Ortega with a fastball at 88. That comes from that same school. Going through the system with Oakland. Fastballs, changeups, work quickly, pitch inside, then use your curveball and slider.
Cliff Pennington starting second baseman tonight. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. 219 average with 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Texas native. Missing down and away. Rangers playing to pull with 3 infielders on the right side. Is this the first shift we've seen against Pennington?
And as a team, Texas does not do a lot of defensive shifting. The 603 as a team, 21st in baseball.
3-2 count.
So when you pitch there, you're kind of pitching against your defense against Pennington, especially a fastball down and away. Stay back on and hit that ball to the left side of the infield.
Good rip at that fastball. I mean, we've seen them play somewhat to pull, where the shortstop's playing toward the middle and third baseman off the line, but I don't recall 3 infielders on the right.
Getting us ready for that series, that 4-game set in Houston.
Yeah. There's a walk to start a little rally perhaps for the Angels with 1 out here in the second. Second free pass issued by A.J. Griffin.
Certainly a candidate right now to put a hit and run on. Pennington runs pretty well. Perez handles the bat well.
Back-to-back starts for Perez behind the plate. 1 for 3 last night. Had an RBI double. 29th run batted in as Pennington's on the move. This one flipped out to right field. Mazara coming in. That's going to fall in front of him. So 2 on with 1 out.
Probably the guy you like to put the hit and run on probably as often as possible because he does a good job of putting it in play is Carlos Perez. Even though he hit this one in the air, falls in for a base hit. He makes good contact. He shortens up his swing a lot better on those hit and run scenarios.
So Nick Buss will bat. He's the 9th place hitter and left fielder tonight. 1 out, 2 on. 221 average for Nick. 6 doubles, a triple, and a home run. 6 runs batted in for the former Trojan.
Pretty good pitch on the inside part of the plate. Did not get called.
This one's lined to center field. Desmond comes in, makes the catch. Good read by the center fielder. 2 down.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier today before the game, how well he has adjusted in center field, Desmond. Good reads off the bat. See, ready, comes in quickly to run down that line drive and fire that baseball in to the cutoff man. And a nice play going to right center field last night. Quickly comes in and cuts off that line drive. Well hit by Buss, but Desmond solid play in center.
To top of the order now, Escobar, who doubled to lead off the game. '27th double of the season, but he was stranded at second base. Pennington at second and Perez at first. Think there's a chance of a random rainstorm tonight?
I checked out all my weather channels here, and it says 0 chance. So that means probably there's a good chance it's going to rain
Good
at some
chance,
point.
yeah.
I guess we should go down and ask Mike Trout that. We should have did that before the game. That would have been the expert advice.
Now, if he had called that before the game, he's already graduated. He's at a different level,
yes,
weather-wise. .38-minute delay last night. It's supposed to be hot and humid here in North Texas through the weekend. 2-0. Escobar fouls it off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Texas with a run in the bottom of the first. Just trying to answer here in the second.
There's Mike Trout on deck. So you're saying he might have gave Al Roker a run for his money as a weatherman if it had been right last night?
Al still does the weather?
Yes.
Who knew? 2-1. Fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Baseball last night had some carry. Expected to do the same tonight, tomorrow.
Just a great ballpark to hit in. Infield super quick, outfield same. Baseball carries well.
Escobar lines with a center field, a base hit. Pennington's being waved home. Desmond's throw will go towards second, and the Angels tie it up at 1 here in the second inning. Escobar with a couple of hits already tonight.
Mr. Multi-hit game for Escobar. Having his 36th run of the season. Angels answer right back. Texas run in the first. Using that middle part of the field. He lets the baseball travel so well. When you elevate a pitch, it's going to be hit hard against Escobar, and he's exactly what he did to center field, scoring Pennington with a tying run.
So many multi-hit games, but this is first since the 11th of September, the last game against Texas, and went into a funk. So 2 on, 2 outs. Here's Trout. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Mike worked a walk in the first.
His numbers again this season. Top 3 in so many offensive categories.
Trout currently leading Major League players in WAR. Wins above replacement at 9.9. Mookie Betts second best at 8.7.
That's amazing. 9.9.
Trout's best year. Obviously, he's led the last 5 seasons. 10.8, 2012.
He's been very patient too. A lot of times you're seeing pitchers trying to expand the zone, even make Trout swing at pitches out of the strike zone, knowing how important he is to the offense. But he's been patient enough to work walks, 103 of them this season, potentially another one here. But he'd love to get a fastball right now to do some damage.
Three-one count, and a little breaking ball hits him on the hip. That's called not giving in. So he's been on board twice now. A walk and a hit by a pitch, and they're loaded up for Albert.
On base percentage coming into the game, .435 for Trout. Next closest, David Ortiz, .403. Already on base twice already today.
Albert hit a fly ball to center. His first at bat. Perez at third, Escobar at second, Trout at first. 1 ball, no strikes. Last time out for Griffin. Got a no decision at Houston. But went 7. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits.
He does 45 pitches, barely more strikes than pitches out of the zone. Now even up.
2 balls, no strikes.
Split right down the middle, 23 in the strike zone, 23 out for Griffin. Big moment here for Albert. Just missed. Hit one out last at bat. Now in a very good count to drive in some runs.
3-0. Some action going in the Texas pen. Albert draws the walk, and the Angels are up 2-1. Pujols with his 113th RBI.
Nick Martinez, who's been a starter for the Rangers, guy can certainly give him length out of that bullpen. Warming up quickly.
If I remember correctly, a guy that has given the Angels some troubles. Third walk issued by Griffin. Now here's C.J. Cron. Struck out on the first. The only punch out the right-handers picked up. Escobar now at third. Trout at second. Pujols at first. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, a lot of times when you see a pitcher throw so many pitches out of the strike zone, including the one that hit Trout and then 4 in a row to Albert, 1 out of the zone against Cron, you would think be patient, but I think right now you sit on a fastball.
He's struggling to throw anything for a strike right now.
He has to groove a fastball here. Although a lot of times you get back into counts, especially when you're having a tough time with the fastball, that's when you throw your breaker ball. But I don't know if you can afford to do so now.
Three and 0.
This could be his last batter here.
A little surprised. Granted, the magic numbers at 3, and Bannister probably just wants to put things away if he gets an opportunity. Limits the damage here. Griffin's coming off his longest outing of the season at 7 innings against Houston. And it's back-to-back walks, and it's a 3-1 lead now.
That is going to be it.
Wow. So Nick Martinez will be summoned from the pen. Bannister making the slow walk out there. And that's going to be it for A.J. Griffin. He goes an inning and 2/3. He departs with the Angels up 3-1. Of Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is brought to you by Subaru, making the world a better place. That's why we donate to causes we care about. By El Pollo Loco, new chicken tenders. Try them today at El Pollo Loco. And by the 3-row 2016 Mazda CX-9. Halos up by the score of 3-1. 8 men have come to the plate here in the second inning. As Nick Martinez takes over, turning it out who's in, who's out. And up and down a little bit this year.
Yeah,
11th game, 6th start, 1-3 with an ERA of over 6.
Yeah, that ERA, I was just going to mention that, well over 6 for him. Fastball is 88-93, slider, curve, changeup.
Facing Andrelton Simmons, who takes a breaking ball down and away. Simmons, a fly ball to center in the first inning. I mentioned Martinez. The good numbers in his career against the Angels. 1-3. 7 games, 6 starts, but a 2.72 ERA.
A lot of fastballs, as I recall, on the outer part of the plate and the lower part of the strike zone. About 62% of his pitches are fastballs.
2 balls, no strikes.
That's quite a few pitches out of the zone in a row now.
Yep. Trout standing at third base, Pujols at second, and Cron at first. Three and 0 now.
It's had about 13 straight pitches out of the strike zone for pitchers from Texas.
Taking 2, aren't you?
Yeah.
One would think. 3-1. Oh, derisive round of applause by the Rangers faithful. Heartfelt.
I never got an applause like that for throwing a strike.
For throwing a strike?
Yeah.
Martinez ready, the 3-1. Simmons pulls it foul, so full count. Martinez, a 26-year-old Miami, Florida native, went to Fordham University. 18th round pick by Texas in 2011. He's been up and down the last couple of years. The Angels will get the merry-go-round going here. Runners taking off. Trout from third, Pujols from second, and Cron from first with a 3-2 count and 2 outs. 3-1 Halos. We are in the second. I'll pitch him inside. Runners going to 3-2, and Simmons chops this one toward the middle. Andrus has it. His place to first. And the top of the second is in the books. But the Angels bat around, and they score 3 times as we head to the bottom of the inning with the Angels leading at 3-1.
Coors Light with Bannister's Rangers this season, playing very good baseball. Rangers in the last 6 years, 3 division titles, 4 playoff series wins. Previous 49 years for this franchise has had 3 division titles and 0 playoff wins. Bannister, the AL manager here last year, has the club playing very well again this year. Magic number at 3.
Lucroy lets the bat fly and it gets stuck in the net. Like a bug in a spider's web.
Fortunate enough, that net is there.
So delay now while they wait to get somebody to come out and get the bat off the net.
Fold him, base, the bat slips right out of the hands. Hot night tonight. Fortunate enough, that net is there. Almost made it through the net. Handle went through, but the barrel did not.
There's our savior. 0-1 count on Lucroy. Now we've seen some weird things over the last week.
Yeah, we have seen quite a few things odd of late.
This one's popped up. Carlos Perez on the track makes a catch. 1 down. One out, nobody on, and it's Mitch Moreland up. Moreland last night 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. By the way, it's the first time that Daniel Wright has pitched with the lead. Wearing an Angels uniform. Good off-speed pitch. 1-1.
Good feel for that pitch so far. They threw a couple last inning were very, very good. It's one of those pitches you just have to have trust in.
243 average for the Ranger first baseman with 22 home runs and 59 runs batted in. 1-1. And tight. A little more breeze tonight than last night. It was very kind of a stale night. See that already impact a couple of fly balls. Moreland lifts one on the left side. Escobar a long run because he was in the shift. Might hang up for him because of that win. And
yeah,
sure
you
enough,
see how it started pushing its way back.
2 down.
The Rangers had that early 1-0 lead, but the Honda help a moment. Last inning, Jay Griffin could not find the strike zone. Walks Albert Pujols on 4 pitches with the bases loaded, and follows it up with a 4-pitch walk to C.J. Cron with the bases loaded. 2-run score, 3 total in the second inning as the Angels take the lead here, 3-1.
Two outs, nobody on, and Nomar Bazaar at the plate. Right fielder. Takes ball 1. Bazaar at 270. 19 home runs and 60 runs batted in. Homered last night. The Rangers' first run, that was in the 5th, and that was the opposite way. Little dribbler right side. Cron's going to field it. Wright is not going to get there. Trying to figure out what the decision was after Cron made the decision to go to far to his right. And that should be an out, and that goes as a hit.
Yeah, that's one of those plays too as a pitcher, especially where you see C.J. Cron located. Once he's committed to getting that baseball as a pitcher, it's a very difficult play to get there yourself. Just go right to the base. You always want to try to field it yourself, but it's one of those things that you have to try to, if you're going to get to that baseball, you got to make sure 100% you can field that. Otherwise, get right to the base and you'll be in position to get the feed from C.J. Cron.
I think even if he's at the base, they still don't get him. I think, honestly, that's a second baseman's ball. Especially playing as far back as he is at first base.
But you're always taught as a pitcher, and that angle you go to is try to field everything, especially when you've already told your first baseman to be able to play deeper for him.
Andrews fouls this one back. You go back and watch the replay. I mean, Pennington's charging on that ball. A little easier to go 4-3 on that play. I know what you're saying. Anything hits slowly to the right, you're supposed to break that way as a pitcher. My point being that once a first baseman goes to a glove and tries to, with like a highlight basket, flip it over, it's going to be a bang-bang play regardless of who the first baseman is.
All three basically were kind of going in different directions.
Yeah.
Pennington was coming in at first and then worked his way back towards first base. And then Cron's going after the baseball as Wright was going after the baseball, so there's not going to be any coverage at that point, really, at first base to get Mazara.
0-2 to Andrews. Inside.
I like that decision to go fastball in against him. Generally, I love that fastball away, but that's the pitch that Andrews hits so well behind in the count. Early in the count, looks in, then he looks away. You got to pitch backwards, and that's exactly what Wright did there.
Little chopper towards short. Simmons has it. He'll go to first. Inning comes to an end. A shutdown inning for Daniel Wright as we head to the 3rd, and the Angels up 3-1. Rafael Ortega, who led off the second against A.J. Griffin, will lead off the third against Nick Martinez. Ortega popped out to start the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. Ortega, Pennington, and Perez, 6, 7, and 8. This one out to left field. It's a leadoff single. Gomez plays it to the back end. Will get it back in.
Well, that was a real good piece of hitting there by Ortega. Stayed back on that one very well. Lines it to left. Talk about letting the baseball travel lower part of the strike zone, then try to pull it. Hits the ball hard the other way for a single. And that foot down, hands are back. Good smooth swing. Hitting the ball the other way with the barrel of the bat by Ortega.
Pennington worked a walk into second. One of 3 picked up by the Angels against Griffin. The first one's upstairs. Quick throw to first. Ortega back safely. Most of the season for Nick Martinez spent at AAA Round Rock. At 7 and 6 there with a 3.91 ERA. 18 games, 16 starts. That evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. 24 games last year, 21 starts for Texas. 7 and 7 mark.
Big jump.
Ortega takes off. The throw down by Lucroy is not a dime. A stolen base for Ortega.
Yeah, Martinez allowed 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts, and that was a huge jump. Lucroy throwing out about 38% of base runners. See this big jump right here. Picking up his 7th stolen base of the season in scoring position, trying to add on. I was talking to Ron Renicky about Lucroy earlier in the day. About back at home, Lucroy was throwing out about nearly 50% of would-be base stealers. And Ron Renicky says he's very good as far as framing pitches, very solid behind the plate, but he's streaky as far as throwing out base runners. He goes in spurts where he throws out everybody. Then he gets in a situation where he struggles.
This one's popped up. Beltre, the third baseman, into foul territory. 1 down.
Again, anytime you see a catcher that has such a high percentage thrown out, you look for any edge, and that's what Ron Renicky said. He felt comfortable the way they ran against him. It's not always a stolen base against the catcher. A lot of times it's against the pitcher, but when you're in one of those scenarios where you're struggling throwing the baseball, even though you're still doing a good job catching the baseball, blocking pitches in the dirt, the throwing arm, not quite the same. You see some success against him of late as far as stealing bases. Of course, Ron Renicky knows a lot about Lucroy. Was his manager there in Milwaukee. So he has that little inside information. Very important there as he gives a sign to Ortega to steal.
Perez bouncing this one toward the hole. Elvis Andrus with a nice dig on the backhand. Throws out Carlos for the second out of the inning.
And defensively this year, much better, more consistent season for Elvis Andrus. Talked about his offense, but his defense has been very good too. Good off-balance throw to first base.
A lot more under control. So 2 outs. Ortega still at second. Here's Nick Buss.
Nick hit the ball very well his first at bat, lined it, but Desmond made a nice play coming in on the baseball in center.
Buss a fly ball to center field in the second. 0 for 1. Andrews shading toward the middle, trying to keep Ortega close to the bag at second. Just missed. Borderline pitch. It was a count at 1-1. Nick Chili Buss. Officially his middle name.
Yep.
This one out to left field. Good piece of hitting again. Gomez racing back and will track it down. Nice play by Carlos Gomez. That ball was struck well and had some carry to boot.
2 good swings for Buss in this game, but nothing to show for. Gomez runs this one down, gets a quick look where the wall is, reaches up. Outstanding defensive play.
An inning for Daniel Wright in the second, and he'll face the top of the order coming up here for the Rangers. Gomez, Desmond, and Beltran. 4 hits allowed, 1 strikeout, no walks. Gomez making that terrific catch in left field. Leads things off, takes a strike. He had a single. The run scored in the first inning.
And that was on a fastball, now 3 for 4 in his career versus Wright. It's a good spot to get him off your fastball, run that one in.
One and 2. Gomez rips one out the left field on a 1-2 pitch. Buss cuts it off. Gomez trying to go to second, and the relay is not in time. A double for Carlos Gomez, and the leadoff man reaches to start the third.
Buss did a nice job of getting that baseball in quickly. Breaking ball that drifted on the inner half of the plate. Gomez was able to stay back on that one. Hips were open up initially, but kept his hands back. Quick throw in, and a quick relay and throw back. See Gomez able to keep his hand on the base, but well played by Nick Buss.
20th double of the season for Carlos. He's reached safely in 10 straight games now.
Now 4 for 5 against Daniel Wright.
Ian Desmond had a single to right field in the first. He's 1 for 1.
Talk about the progress Desmond has made hitting all fields. The direction of the hits, middle to the other way. There's 42 pull hits so far this season for Desmond, a guy known to be a pull hitter when he's with the Nationals.
Back up the middle, hits right. And this has got to stop. Get the out at first. It's becoming an epidemic as far as Angels pitchers are concerned.
Line right back up the middle again. Adam Nebula, Mike Scioscia, Charles Nagy all running out to make sure Daniel Wright's okay. See where this baseball hit him. Right in the back of the thigh area. Back of the leg, hamstring area. Recovered very well to be able to get the out at first, break a ball. Quickly look to see where Gomez was. That's pretty good presence of mind. And able to make the throw, but that ball got him pretty square.
Got the high side ready to go. Gomez at third, 1 out. Carlos Beltran coming to the plate. Beltran grounded into a double play in the first. He'll pull one into right field, and that'll fall in for a hit, and it'll get by Ortega. Can't find it. Carlos will stay at first as the run scores, and it is 3-2 Angels. 89th RBI for Carlos.
Beltran being aggressive, gets his changeup, went stayed back on that one very well. Ortega caught in between, charging that baseball, forcing up, hit the glove and reacted, and got back on that baseball as quick as possible to keep Beltran from getting in the scoring position himself.
Almost looked as if he had the mindset of he was going to dive for the baseball off the bat initially. Because that's not a normal way to charge it. I mean, you could see the run at third base on a base hit. And this one's out to right. Rafael has to hurry back, and he'll track it down on the track. 2 down.
We're seeing some very aggressive early swings here by the Rangers against Daniel Wright. Coming into the game on 0-0 counts. Baseball's put in play against him. 462. 6 for 13. With 2 home runs on that very first pitch put in play.
So 2 outs. Beltran over at first, and here's Rougned Odor. Strikeout victim in the first. The only punch out that Wright has picked up. Back leg downward, back to the screen. No 1 count. .31 home runs, easily a career high for him. Previous career high last year, 16. Behind at the count at 0-2. Breaking ball misses.
Always got to be careful upstairs with anything, whether it's a fastball or break a ball against Odor. That's where his power swing is.
Much different player since being sent out in May of last year. And since coming back up. This one's fouled off. Kind of a wake-up call for Odor, and he was spectacular when he got back.
He doesn't get cheated even with 2 strikes on him either.
It's worked out well for him.
'67 extra base hits this season.
There's the 1-2. Missing low. Evens a count. Shift on with Pennington out in shallow right. Reaching for this one, lifted out to shallow center field. Trout has to race in. He'll get there, makes the catch. And the inning comes to an end. Texas adds a run. We'll head to the 4th. Angels lead at 3-2. Two of this 3-game set. I want to remind you to join us for pregame Oktoberfest celebration in the Game 1 Music Garden when the Angels take on the Astros on Friday, September 30th and Saturday, October the 1st. Enjoy beer from local breweries, live music, and more. Visit angels.com/promotions for more information and to get your tickets. I think we should do the game from there.
Yes, that sounds good.
It's Friday and Saturday. Why don't we just stay Friday night, just keep on going.
Keep on going. Get ready.
That's what Oktoberfest is all about.
It is.
Cheers. Top of the order, Escobar, Trout, and Pujols here in the 4th. Udell 2 for 2 with a double in the first, a single with an RBI and a run scored in the second.
Got to mix in some pretzels there too.
The old Bavarian type.
Yes.
Ball at a strike. Double for Escobar in the first inning is 27th. The RBI in the second is 36th. Bouncer to third. Beltre backs up on it. One down.
Well, a tough hop, especially when it got towards that grass and dirt area at third base.
Trout, no official at bat for him tonight. Walked to the first, was hit by a pitch in the second.
He's got 437 on base percentage, which leads the majors in that category. Doesn't have much of an opportunity to swing the bat. Maybe he's going to be aggressive here on the first pitch.
Does so. Beltre plays that odd hop again, and they get dropped by a step. 2 down.
Had 2 tough hops in this inning. Beltre at third base. Knows he has to use all that arm strength to be able to throw Trout out at first, and does so.
Here's Albert. Walk to the bases loaded in the second, picking up his 113th RBI. That's where he ranks all time. One away from tying Frank Robinson.
Just passed Frank Robinson recently on the all-time home run list.
Two-0 pitch. Got jammed. Lifts one out the left. Halos down in orders. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Still 3-2 Angels. This telecast of Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is brought to you by Infinity. Visit your local Southern California Infinity retailer for a test drive today. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Halos up on the score of 3-2. Bottom of the fourth inning. Nothing easy for Daniel Wright so far. Meaning he hasn't yet to have a 1-2-3 inning. He did face just 4 batters in the second, giving up a 2-out single, but nothing more. Lucroy, Moreland, and Mazarez. Rangers catcher takes a strike. Lucroy popped out his first plate appearance.
It's a pretty good slider. Lucroy very quick on the inner part of the plate.
Two balls, one strike. Didn't like that call, but it caught the strike zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 54 pitches so far for Daniel Ray. 1 strikeout, no walks, 6 hits allowed. That's cute foul. Down the line, it's a fair ball. Toward the corner, Lucroy will turn and head to second. And he is in there with a leadoff double. Back-to-back innings, which Wright has allowed that leadoff double.
Very similar location to that breaking ball as it was to Gomez. See this breaking ball is the inner half of the plate. He's able to stay back on it and lines it right down the left field line, just like Carlos Gomez did. Because it was on the inside part of the plate. If it's down and away with the curveball, very difficult to do so. Mentioned how good he is on the inner part of the plate. Quick on that one, 22nd double.
Here's Moreland, who popped out to Escobar in foul territory. Takes inside. Go back to that pitch that Daniel just threw to Lucroy. Tough to get a right-handed batter off that breaking ball if you haven't really shown anything in. Now, he did throw a fastball earlier in the count as Moreland lifts this one out to left, and it's playable for Buss.
It's a big out to that side of the field.
Yep. On the previous pitch to Lucroy, it looked like he went something away and he fouled it off. You're already looking away as a hitter. That's my point on that slow curveball. That was a slider there.
Yeah.
That slow curveball, it's too good of a pitch.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times, that's why most times when you look at pitches thrown to, if you're a right-handed pitcher to a right-handed batter, most times it'll be fastball either in or away, slider away and down. Curveball more difficult against a right-handed batter because it's going to, a lot of times if you leave it on the inner half of the plate, it becomes very hittable.
Right.
So another slider there, or slider a little bit sharper break to it, would have been a much better pitch going down and away. The curveball always has that tendency against a right-handed batter to leak back.
Mazar hits a towering shot to right center field, and that is a no-doubter, a 2-run blast. And Texas is on top 4-3. Nomar Mazar with his 20th home run of the season.
Well, he picked up his first career home run against the Angels. Mazar, and that one way out to center field area. Look at changeup that just drifted away instead of going down and away. And well out for Mazara. 20 home runs.
One out, nobody on for Elvis Andrus, who grounded out his first time up.
Well, Mazara, that's 5 home runs this season for Mazara against the Angels. Winning the game at .353 batting average. Infield hit, and then that 2-run home run.
Back-to-back games with a home run. Back up the middle, and that'll sneak through for a base hit.
.62 pitches thrown for Wright in this game at this point. 41 of them strikes. That hasn't really been the issue for him. It's location of some of those strikes. And now you're facing a guy that's had some serious success against you.
And Gomez 2 for 2. A single and a double. Four-3 Texas here in the fourth. No balls, 2 strikes. He's had some troubles tonight, just finishing hitters off. 64 pitches, 43 strikes tonight for Daniel.
Still, I don't think you go away from the fastball necessarily. He's got a pretty good one when he locates it well. But now you have him set up now, especially with the fastball away, they go slider down and away.
Back up slider, taking off is Andrews, and safe at second. Andrews had a huge jump from first.
Mike Scioscia wants to take a look at it just to make sure the tag was not applied. He's comfortable with the call. He's looking in Andrews. See the slide gets on that base before the tag is applied and keeps that hand on there all the way through.
'23rd stolen base, and this is a little dribbler. Left side, right's got it. 2 down. Andrews advances to third. Stay tuned later tonight in the postgame show for the Business of Sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Toyota Cerritos.
That stolen base there by Andrews just before advancing to third on that ground ball. This is 45th stolen base against the Angels in 53 attempts. That's 85% success rate.
Desmond grounds this one to second. Pennington has it. And that's the third out. But Texas takes its first lead, or second lead of the game. 2-run home run by Nomar Mazara. Makes it 4-3 as we head to the fifth.
Third, in between Hop, still that strong throwing arm, and this one against Trout also a difficult hop. Under control, perfect throw for the 4-time Gold Glove winner at third base, Adrian Beltre.
Start the fifth with the Angels down 4-3. Nick Martinez has settled things down. He had a 1-2-3 fourth, and he'll face Crone, Simmons, and Ortega here in the Angels half of this fifth inning.
2,618 career games at third base for Beltre. Second only to Brooks Robinson.
Crone 0 for 1, a strikeout in the first, walked with the bases loaded in the second. Picked up a 65th RBI. He's ahead of the count at 2 balls, no strikes. All 3 runs for the Angels coming in the second. Texas with 1 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Three balls, no strikes.
Well, I'm just watching as Nick Martinez gets in that stretch position as a hitter. He moves his glove a lot on breaking balls. Didn't do a whole lot of movement on that fastball there. You just look for some type of edge. A lot of times you'll see a pitcher tip a pitch. See what he does in this one. Not a lot of movement. Should be a fastball, you would think then.
And there's ball 4. So leadoff man on board for the Angels. Second walk picked up by Cron. And Simmons coming up.
Jeff Bannister on the phone down to the bullpen.
It's the first time C.J. Cron has had 2 walks in a game since April 21st. He stands at first base as Simmons is bent back. Andrelton 0 for 2.
We're going to have a quick conversation now. Raquel coming out, pitching coach. Andrews ran right to the mound. He might have saw something from Martinez. Same thing with Lucroy running to the mound before the visit from the pitching coach.
Claudio, the funky lefty, getting ready. .28 pitches thrown by Martinez. Jeff Bannister had no problem hooking A.J. Griffin after an inning and 2/3.
That might have been a call from the dugout just to give Claudio a little more time in the bullpen to throw over with C.J. Cron at first.
These two teams have played a tight series all season long. Texas with a 1-game advantage. The Angels are 8-9 against the Rangers. One-0, hit and run. This is back at middle. Glove by Nick Martinez. How about that double play?
Wow. Line drive up the middle, threw his glove up behind the back play. It's our top tier play brought to you by Arco. That's unbelievable.
That's sick is what it is. Or as my son says, that's beast.
And not only be able to flip your glove behind your back, you'll be able to control that line drive. That was hit very well by Simmons. You see his reaction. Simmons not real happy. Lines it up the middle.
That's ridiculous,
That's
man.
when things are going well for a club.
Didn't we have that happen the other day against the Angels too?
Yes.
It was a bouncer though, right?
Yeah, but this thing was a rocket.
Yeah,
right
this
back
was a
up the
rocket.
middle.
Just like that, 2 outs and the base is cleared. And here's Ortega. Did you ever do that? Did you ever throw the glove up? Catch a liner?
I think I tried a few times, but it didn't seem to work. That was amazing right there. That was super quick. I mean, because that baseball was crushed right back up the middle.
In a hit and run situation too. Ortega rips it foul.
And you know when the questions are going to be asked after the game, Nick Martinez says, "Oh yeah, I do that a lot. I throw that glove behind me."
Whatever.
Yeah.
And you hope it hit your glove or nothing at all.
Yeah,
it
that's
just makes your elbow.
Yeah, it can get your arm very easily.
Ortega 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base. Head of the count at 2 balls and a strike.
That's frustrating for a hitter, too. You do everything well there. You can't square a baseball up any more so than you did.
Three and 1. Pennington on deck. Ortega's had some nice hacks tonight. This is hit towards second. Odor's got it on the short hop. And the inning comes to an end. Incredible double play started by Nick Martinez on the liner off the bat of Andrelton Simmons.
You can't make a better play than Martinez did on that one. It made it look easy. And fires over to first for a double play.
Beltran, Odor coming up for Texas. Carlos swinging first pitch, fouls it off. No balls and a strike. RBI single in his last at bat. 1 for 2 on the night. No balls, 2 strikes now. Oh, 2 downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's the 1-2. Just off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Try to get him to chase that fastball. Well, Adrian Beltre is almost in the batter's box himself. See him that angle? So close, trying to get a view of the pitch from Daniel Wright.
This one's out towards center. It's playable for Trout. One down.
Speaking of Adrian Beltre, now it's time for the driver's seat, brought to you by Kia. As far as active hit list, number one playing in this game here tonight. Ichiro at the top with 3,027. Adrian Beltre, 2,932. Albert Pujols, 2,816. And Carlos Beltran, 2,610. As far as active career hits.
Takes inside. 1 for 2 tonight. Single in the first. That'll even up the count. One. 1-2. Beltre gave it a ride in the third inning. Tracked down by Ortega on the warning track in right field. On the 1-2 count, Beltre gets hit. And again, that's been the issue for Daniel Wright tonight. Hasn't been able to finish off hitters. Plenty of 2-strike counts.
Yeah, he's thrown quite a few strikes. Trying to go in with a fastball. Just dropped his elbow enough where it's going to run in on the batter. There's points where you want to throw inside, but certainly not when you got a 1-2 count where you're trying to finish off a very dangerous hitter in Beltre. Those power numbers and RBI in the last 18 games for Odor. 20 RBI in the last 18 games.
Oh for 2. Strikeout, the fly ball to center. 4-3 Texas here in the bottom of the 5th.
And it's a very solid, deep lineup for the Rangers. But I think if you make good pitches, you can get them off balance with breaking balls, establish enough fastballs in. Now, you look at deep lineups that we've seen. Boston is extremely deep as far as their lineup. Baltimore, a lot of power themselves. Jeff Anderson's really got this team believing in this, that thought process of this playing the game the right way and getting those key hits at the right moment. They've done that plenty of times this season.
2 outs and Lucroy coming up with a man at first. Want to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by Authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Lucroy had a double in his last at bat, 1 for 2, and this was blocked by Carlos.
Nice job by Carlos Perez. And now when Adrian Beltre was a little upset with himself not getting a better secondary lead, he thought maybe he could have went, but Carlos did a good job of keeping that in front of him. And you got to be careful in the inside part of the plate against Lucroy.
.3-0, thinking about pulling the trigger.
Helped outright. It's a borderline pitch. Iggy getting ready in the bullpen for the Angels.
3-1. Lucroy gets hit by a pitch, and that may be all for Daniel Wright. 2 hit batters this inning. And Scioscia seen enough. Sure enough, Daniel Wright will have his night come to an end. Unable to get through 5. Goes forward 2/3 and a pitching change with the Angels down 4-3. Daniel Wright having hit both Adrian Beltre and Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy's hit by pitch coming with the 2 outs and a 3-1 count. He's done after 87 pitches. Responsible for both base runners as Cody Iggy takes over on the mound with Mitch Moreland coming to the plate. Iggy will be pitching in his 10th game. He's gone 5 2/3. He's allowed an earned run. And Iggy got into the game last night, went 2/3 of an inning. Moreland tonight, a pop-up in foul territory and a fly ball to left.
He's had a good feel for that slider. He's also spotted his fastball well enough to make that slider that much more effective.
Oh, what? Moreland pulls one to right field. Now it'll get down for a base hit. Beltre is being waved around. The throw to the plate is cut off. And Texas expands its lead to 5-3 as Moreland picks up his 60th run batted in.
Break a ball off the end of the bat, but it was elevated enough where he could flip that one into left field for an RBI single. A little bit lower. He's not going to be able to hit the ball that high in the air to be able to get it by the infield for an RBI single.
Here's Nomar Mazara. 2 for 2 tonight with a single and a 2-run blast, a monster blast. Just to the right of center field. And he'll look at a strike. Hold 1. Pardon me. 0-2. Ground ball left side. Simmons far to his right, off balance throw. Pulls Cron off the base. He applies the tag on the hip for the 3rd out.
Well
Texas
played by both on that one, Simmons and Cron.
Adds a run, and we will head to the 6th inning. It's 5-3 Rangers.
Trying to stay alive in the wild card race. Gary Sanchez continues to have an outstanding rookie season. 17th home run, a 3-run home run, broke a 2-2 tie. 33 RBI. It's a game break from Tampa. Sanchez, a slider. He does have that good slider swing where he's going to elevate something lower part of the strike zone. 33 RBI also in 42 games for Sanchez as the Yankees still continue to lead that one 5-3 down there in Tampa.
Alex Claudio takes over on the mound here to start the 6th inning with the Angels trailing it. And the score of 5-3. Claudio pitching in his 35th game. 4-1 record, a 2.98 ERA. Takes over for Nick Martinez, who ended up going 3 1/3. 1 hit, 1 walk. Andrews bobbles it. It would look like a routine play, and Pennington will reach on the error.
Just his 15th error of the season. Will hop up, hit the heel of the glove, off the body, unable to make the play. Runner on now for the Angels. Talked about have to add on after getting that 3-1 lead. Some zeros put up for the relievers for Texas as the offense got rolling.
Carlos 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. Claudio, a changeup artist. And his one funky delivery, too.
It's all about that deception in the delivery.
A 24-year-old native of Puerto Rico. 15 games 2 seasons ago, 18 games in the big leagues last year. 35th this season. Talk about a model of consistency. 2.92 ERA, 2.87, and 2.98 this year.
Go back to my Hyundai key for this game. That run to the hills, try to hit and run. Last inning, a line drive up the middle. Looked like it was going to chance to be a first and third, end up being a double play. To still have to stay aggressive. Pennington at first base. Perez at the plate.
3-1, and it's in there.
He likes to show with a fastball. It's going to be 84 to 87 range tops, but his changeup very, very good. He almost goes into that circle change grip to start with.
Out to right, Mazar is there. One down. Hey, get your red on. Join us Sunday, October the 2nd for Fan Appreciation Day. The Angels celebrate our fans as we take on the Astros at 12:05. Fans in attendance will have the chance to win great prizes courtesy of Welk Resorts, Bio Spa, and Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. That's Scooby's favorite.
Yes.
Visit angels.com/promotions to get your tickets.
How did you know?
Because you have one every game.
I thought you didn't notice.
Jeffrey Marte is going to pinch hit here. To Nick Buss on a couple of good at-bats. Nothing to show for it. Ends up going 0 for 2.
Be real surprised if Marte got a change, anything but a changeup first pitch. It's a pretty good move. So how quick that move is. Borderline when you bring that foot back towards the pitching rubber. If you cross the rubber, you have to go home. He's real close, still able to throw the first.
Marte at .251 batting average, 12 home runs, 38 RBIs. 3 for 10 as a pinch hitter, one of which was a home run. Pulls this one through the left side, a base hit.
Well, he did go fastball first pitch and had to pay the price for it.
So the Angels have 2 on with 1 out. Top of the order now, and Escobar coming to the plate. Yunel 2 for 3 with a double and a single. Grounded out to Beltre last time up. Long look hit for Claudio. Escobar lifts one out to right. 2 down. Tanner Shepard's getting ready in the Rangers pen. Be surprised if Claudio faces Trout.
Real surprised if you see that.
Or if he does, it's to pitch around him maybe.
Trout with 70 career RBI coming in the game against Texas, including 37 of them here with 9 home runs.
Pennington at second, Marte at first. Off speed for a strike.
Trout's had that solid, consistent batting average against off-speed pitches and breaking balls throughout this entire season, and lower part of the strike zone. A good match against Claudio for Trout.
This one pulled foul.
With Desmond playing extremely deep in center field. Now with 2 strikes, Trout's pretty good as far as shortening up a swing. A little flare in the center field will score a run.
Mike tonight, the walk hit by pitch and a ground out. Fastball away. It's 1-2. 5-3 Texas. We're in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, that changeup not even close to the outside part of the plate.
Perhaps not fully committed.
One thing about Trout, we talked about his patience this season. Even though a very big RBI situation for him.
Three infielders on the left side with Trout at the plate. Shepard's ready to go in the pen for Texas. Two, and it's ground ball through the right side, of base hit. Pennington will come in to score. Marte will turn and head to third. And it's a 1-run deficit for the Angels. 5-4 Texas as Trout picks up his 92nd RBI.
How good was that swing there for Trout? Behind in the count, his numbers throughout the season also very consistent as far as batting average behind in the count, trying to sneak a fastball in. He brings his hands in and lines that ball to the right side of the infield for an RBI single. What an at bat for Trout. 92 RBI on the season now for Trout. Another RBI against Texas.
So Albert will bat with 2 on and 2 outs. A couple of fly ball outs and a walk with the bases loaded for Albert tonight.
Well, Andrews taking that long walk back to his shortstop position to make sure Bannister has plenty of time to ensure the change is made potentially. The infielders are all thinking the pitching change is going to be made. Bannister has not made the move yet.
90 degrees. I can't imagine it takes Shepers a whole lot to get ready. Opting to stay with Claudio.
Lucroy keeps looking and expecting Bannister to come out and make the change. Trout's got to be aware of that quick pickoff move over first, though.
Albert takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. Outfield straight around. Infield pretty much as straight up you see it. With Albert up. Got a fastball. Pulled the trigger. He's out of the strike zone. It's 0-2. Five to 4 Texas. 1 run in.
You know, all the fans and all the writers here for the Rangers have to be wondering why Bannister has not gone down to the bullpen to being a righty versus a righty. He's done a lot of things well managing this club, trying to see, especially with the lead they have in this division, if Claudio can get out some tough right-handed batters.
Changeup is low. Maybe that's Doug Jones-like. Slow, slower, slowest.
I was going to say it's a left-handed version of him.
Yeah.
Changeup comes in at 70, 67, 66, 64, 65 range.
Count even up at 2-2. With 2 outs. Marte at third, Trout at first. Albert strikes out, swinging, got a tailing fastball away. And the Angels will strand 2. And it's a 5-4 Texas lead when we return another edition of Gooby Tuesdays.
Man, he's a legend up in Toronto, Alfredo Griffin.
Legend in his own mind, isn't he?
Always with that smile.
Yep. Well, Texas up 5-4 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the Angels go to the bullpen. It's Jose Valdez taking over on the mound. 21st game, 1-3 mark at a 4.50 ERA. 17 strikeouts, 15 walks in 18 innings of work. Andrus, Gomez, and Desmond for Texas here in the 6th inning. Cody Ige went 1/3 of an inning, gave up a hit. Valdez promptly falls behind at 2 balls and no strikes. Elvis tonight 1 for 2, single with a stolen base in the 4th. 4 runs, 6 hits, 8 left on for the Angels. 5 runs, 10 hits, 6 left on for Texas. It's a 3-0 count on Elvis Andrus.
You mentioned earlier too with Andrus, you don't want to gift the base to him with a walk, especially with his ability to steal a base.
3-1. Big rip. Fouls it straight back, full count. Looking at that Major League scoreboard, Cleveland walked off on Kansas City. Royals at the start of the day, 5 back of the wild card. And the bouncer to short. Simmons has it. One down.
By the way, that's the 11th walk-off win for Cleveland this year.
Tigers leading Minnesota 8-0. That was Hector Santiago who knocked around an hour. Take a look at some of the scores. Baltimore losing to Boston. Toronto will play in Seattle tonight and tomorrow. Into Detroit's leading. Houston currently taking on the Astros, or pardon me, the A's at the Coliseum. Scoreless, and that game just underway.
Well, Cleveland's magic number to win the division, I think, is down to 6 in that AL Central.
Carlos Gomez 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Couple runs scored.
Boy, Boston is starting to take control of that division. They've played the teams they had to beat, Toronto, Baltimore, and have played extremely well against them, both.
Four-game advantage over the Orioles and the Blue Jays in the East.
Pretty tight race as far as the best record in the American League. Whoever would have that would have home field advantage throughout, with the American League winning the All-Star game. Home field advantage for the American League in the World Series.
Gomez lines with a center, a 3-hit game. Going with a fastball. Quick pitch, the pitch before a breaking ball, which isn't the easiest thing in the world to do, and throw a first strike.
Very difficult to play catch up. Throw a good breaking ball, you really have to make sure you keep that front shoulder in, to be able to get the elbow up to be able to snap a breaking ball off.
Low throw, and Valdez throws it away. Gomez will take second on the throwing error. Oh, it looks like Gomez maybe came off the base, and Andrelton Simmons applies the tag. Bannister's going to have a look at it. If that call stands, what a play by Andrelton Simmons. Gomez looking back and jawing at Simmons. Yeah. He's off the base
right there. There's no doubt. Simmons, as always, thinking ahead. Steve Bussell still in the clubhouse trying to find out if it's worth challenging. He's off the base. They're going to check it. Well, the thing is, just because they're going to check it doesn't mean you're going to be back out at second base.
Right.
Carlos Gomez is going back out there. Slide, he's in.
It's off the base.
He's off the base right there.
Completely off the base.
The hand looked like it was off the base. Also, the leg, it's definitely off the base.
I'm not sure what the Rangers were looking at.
Yeah.
And that was a no-brainer. 2 down. Boy, a mistake by Valdez, who just basically shot-putted the throw to first. And that gets erased because of the heads-up play by Andrelton Simmons.
How many times have you said that this year? Heads-up play by Andrelton Simmons. He's fantastic. You know his range, you know his arm, but his instincts are off the chart.
One-0 count on Ian Desmond. The center fielder's 1 for 3 with a single.
Times you almost think of Simmons as almost like Gretzky with the puck or Magic Johnson with the basketball, always just thinking ahead.
case you're wondering, that's just a 3-6 put out at second. I still think a pitcher in that situation should get charged with an error. And then just a put out at second base.
Yeah, I mean, he was in there to begin with, but
Correct.
it's the play by Simmons to get the out.
Now, if the throw beats him there and he gets tagged, okay. But if he's in there and he's off the base and that's how he gets tagged, that definitely should be an error on the pitcher. Three-one count on Desmond. Carlos Beltran's on deck. 14 pitches thrown by Valdez, 8 balls, 6 strikes. Full count.
Good spot, especially against Desmond, lower part of the strike zone.
Payoff on the way. Desmond fouls it off.
Going back to the pickoff by Valdez. Low throw gets by Cron, but Cron hustles after it. Quickly throws it into Andrelton Simmons, but it's all the play by Simmons. Great angle right here. You see the tag before the hand got to the base, no doubt. Really surprised that Texas did challenge that.
Desmond shooting one to right. Ortega moving over. He'll make the catch. And the Rangers half of the 6th comes to an end. We head to the 7th. Halos down a run. Head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. Weekdays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific, only on FS1. Top of the 7th, Halos down a run. And a new pitcher on for the Rangers. Matt Keone Kela takes over. Matt Bush took over last night. Kela's had his issues against the Angels. This will be his 33rd game, 5-1 record, and a 6.68 ERA. Cron, Simmons, and Ortega for the Angels here in the 7th. CJ 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. 1 RBI. Looked like he went around. He did. 1-2.
Keller certainly had his struggles against the Angels, though. ERA career-wise over 12, over 17 this season.
Alex Claudio ended up giving up a run unearned on 2 hits, 1 strikeout in his 1 inning of work. Check swing again. This time did not go. It's a full count. It's Quentin Walcott over at first base. He's subbing for Joe West, who is not with us today. He's at the funeral of Rob Drake's wife. Rob, a Major League umpire, passed away. Cohen fouls it off. So that's where Joe's at, and he'll be back tomorrow. Three-two. Cron fouls it.
Got a high fastball. Foul that one straight back. Andrelton Simmons 0 for 3. Thought he had a base hit. His last at bat. But Nick Martinez made an unbelievable play. Line drive out the middle.
Cron lays off the breaking ball, and that's his 3rd walk of the night. Career high for CJ.
Looks like he might have a pinch runner.
Shane Robinson taking over. So here's Simmons, 0 for 3. Lined into a double play in his last at bat. That's the one that Martinez made behind his back. Runner takes off. Robinson out at second base. Not a good throw at all by Lucroy, but what a dig by Elvis Andrus and a tag at the same time.
That was super quick. We talk a lot about that with Simmons. Andrus didn't think he had a shot at this. Low throw. Well, I think you might take a look at that. Mike Socha's seen enough on that one. That was real close. Looked like he got that tag in. How quick that reaction and tag was by Simmons.
So nobody on, 1 out. The 1-0 count on Andrelton. That's an interesting pitch right there. Behind the back of Simmons.
Looked like he just issued a warning. Maybe that's because of that discussion with Gomez and Simmons on that play at second base.
Yeah, but what about? If anything, if you go back to last Sunday, here's a throw by Kellogg.
I mean, this is right behind the back. There's no doubt. You don't miss that much.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know one thing, it's not fair because now for the Angels, if you want to throw something on the inner half of the play, that's taken away. And Simmons is not real happy.
Well, he shouldn't be.
I mean, that ball was thrown right behind him.
There was a play on Sunday at the Big A, and that's the play that Andrelton got hurt on, in which Gomez lowered his shoulder being tagged between first and second.
He initiated the contact to begin with.
And as I mentioned, as Gomez was tagged out at second base, Carlos was jawing with Andrelton as he just walked away.
Especially when you can paint a corner like that after that pitch. There's no question the purpose behind that pitch.
Two balls, two strikes.
So she's not real happy with that one. Nor should he be.
Three, two, and the bouncer to short. Two down. Here's Ortega, 1 for 3. Ortega with a base hit back in the third inning, also stole a base. Now the 0-2. It's fouled back.
Talking about this play here where Gomez was sliding in and then Simmons able to apply the tag as he went off the base there, kept that tag applied to him, and then all of a sudden Gomez says some stuff to Simmons, who walks away after that collision they had at home at the Big A. Walking off the field.
Again, contact that Gomez initiated.
Exactly. I mean, Keller's been throwing a lot of good pitches on the corners.
Hasn't missed much, has he?
No.
Did not go. 1-2.
Rick Bannister didn't like that call. See if Ortega crossed the plate. Looked like he held up. It's close.
Another foul.
Pretty good at bat working here for Ortega, trying to get on base, especially with his speed. Already seen 8 pitches in this at bat.
2-2. Little pop up to shallow center field. Elvis racing out there, and he will track it down. Really nice play by the Rangers shortstop. It is stretch time here in Texas, and the Angels are down 5-4. MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service delivering everything you've come to expect and more. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to AtBat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. Left-hander Brett Oberholzer takes over on the mound. 3-3 mark and a 5.88 ERA, but that's combined between the Phillies and the Angels. As an Angel, this will be his 8th game. He's made 2 starts, 1-1, and a 9.64 earned run average. 14 innings, 22 hits allowed. And 5 of those have been home runs. It's been a while since he last pitched. He will have a new first baseman as Ji-Man Choi enters the game for C.J. Cron, who was pinch run for. Texas has Beltran, Beltran, Odor due up in their half of the 7th. Carlos Beltran lining one out to left field. That's Jeffrey Marte putting it away. 1 down. Beltran 1 for 2. I was going back to that Andrelton Simmons thing. Keller throwing behind him. I'm curious as to why Simmons. But you know, Daniel Wright hit 2 guys in the 5th. Clearly not on purpose.
No.
But how would you pick Simmons out of the guys in the lineup to hit? Beltran got hit, so did Lucroy.
One of those pitches was an all-speed pitch, too. Certainly, if you're going to throw at somebody on purpose, you're not going to try to hit somebody with a changeup.
That is yanked into left field, and it's a base hit, maybe more. Marte will play the carom. Goes to the bare hand, gets it back into the infield, and Beltran's in at second. Just ahead of the tag for his 28th double of the season.
Second hit of the game. Brought his hands inside that baseball well above the belt. Batting average at .349, 7th inning on. For Beltran, another hit in the 7th inning.
Odor breaking his bat as he rolls a foul. Odor tonight 0 for 3. Fouls it back. He's had some big hacks for the first 2 games.
Yeah, he can drive that fastball, especially if you try to go upstairs with it. See if Oberholzer would try to expand his zone, go down and away, off the plate. A mislocation, he got the swing and miss above the strike zone.
Two down. Beltre standing at second. Potentially walk Lucroy here. Moreland, a left-handed batter on deck.
We'll flash back to September 11th on the rundown. We talked about that earlier with Carlos Gomez initiating the contact with Simmons. You see him lowering the shoulder to try to make contact with Simmons. That's the one. Simmons hurt his hand and missed a couple games. Again, the contact initiated. We got something going on right now. Looks like that's Spike Owens. Third base coach. Jeff Bannister quickly getting over there to separate. Came towards the Angels dugout.
Go back and see if we see anything. You see Spike going to the left of your screen. Obviously not happy with.
Yeah, he's like pointing
somebody's
himself.
yelling.
Associates is telling him to basically get back into that third base coach's box.
First and second, 2 outs. Moreland skies one behind the plate, headed towards the seats. No balls and a strike.
And Mike Scioscia frustrated. I mean, that pitch to Keller through the Simmons was so far behind his back. Scioscia not happy about that one, nor should he have been.
This is hit to second. That's in the shift. Pennington's got it. On to Choi, and the 7th is in the books. We'll head to the 8th. Angels down 5-4.
Top of the 8th, Patrick O'Neill here with you. Stick around after this one for Angels Live, brought to you by your SoCal Mazda dealer. There's certainly a lot of things that we could talk about, but right now, first and foremost, it's what's going on between the Angels and the Rangers. I've been to a lot of games. I've been close to a lot of dugouts. This is as angry as I've ever seen a coaching staff in all the games I've ever been to. Scioscia's absolutely furious right now. I know you've captured it on a lot of the cameras, so we will hear from Mike Scioscia after this one and find out exactly what he thinks and what's fit to print in the postgame show. Victor, Mark, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. As we begin the 8th inning, the Angels down by a run. Have the bottom third of the order coming up at Pennington, Perez, and Marte. Looks like the Angels will pinch hit for Cliff Pennington as Jake Diekman, the fireballing lefty, takes over on the mound. It'll be Gregorio Petit to lead things off. Pennington finishes the night going 0 for 2. Scored twice. Petit, a .253 batting average. 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter.
Diekman can rush to fastball 93 to 97 range. Slider, changeup.
Diekman came over from the Phillies last year along with Cole Hamels. Big addition to the bullpen. 63rd game this year. Petit, 1 around. And it's 1-2. Interesting last inning. The back and forth. Gregorio goes down swinging for the first out.
Really interesting when you think about it, especially with the game this close.
So here's Carlos. 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. That slider from Diekman.
Pretty firm too at 86.
1-1. 2 balls and a strike. A trade with Philadelphia last year, 8-player deal consummated on July 31st. Originally a 30th round pick in 07 by the Phillies. Three and one.
Can be wild. 22 walks, 51 innings pitched this year.
And there's a walk with 1 out. Angels needing some base runners. And it'll be Jeffrey Marte coming up. Let's take a look at the remaining schedule for the Angels. One more here in Texas. And then it's 4 in Houston beginning on Thursday night. Then it's back home for the last week of the regular season. 3 against Oakland, 3 against the Stros. Caleb Coward takes over at first as the pinch runner. Carlos out of the game. And now Doug Brocail out to pay a visit. Action now in the Texas pen. Nobody loosening for the Angels, so it looks like Oberholzer will come back out for the bottom of the 8th. Texas will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up.
Shepard's up again. He was up earlier today.
Marte came in as a pinch hitter the 6th inning and had a single to left. Takes a strike on the inside part of the plate.
I think Marte would like that fastball in that zone again. That's where he's got his power swing. Inner part and down. Try to drive that one out to left field.
Down and in. Ground ball to third. Beltre to Odor. And they get the out at second. And nothing more as Marte replaces Coward at first. So 2 outs in top of the order coming up now in Escobar.
And another play over to Beltre. The firm throw over to second. High throw. Odor able to keep his foot on the base long enough to get the force out.
Yunel Escobar tonight 2 for 4 with a double and a single and an RBI. A fly ball to right field in his last at bat. Down and in.
I mean, a lot of pitches in that lower part of the strike zone or just below.
Two Cal, but Trout on deck. Off the plate. 3-0 now.
And if he walks him, more than likely you'll see pitching change with Trout coming to the plate.
Three one. And there's ball 4. No, Escobar drops the bat, but he'll get called back as Pat Hoberg rings that one up. A full count.
See if it touches the lower part of the strike zone according to our Fox tracks. It's not where Lucroy catches it. It crossed the plate, lower part of the strike zone. This touching it. More likely, you better be swinging if you're Escobar if it's close.
3-2, and Escobar shoots one into the corner in right field. Racing around second and headed to third is Marte. He's going to be stopped right there. It's a double for Escobar. And the Angels have runners at second and third with 2 outs.
That was played extremely well out in right field. Mazar did a nice job of getting in that baseball, getting in quickly to the relay man. Otherwise, Marte could score on that one. See, right down there, hit very well once again. But the defense by Mazar, and then not only get to that baseball, get it in quickly to Odor, and they're going to intentionally walk Trout here to load the bases for Albert Pujols.
Be the second walk of the inning for Diekman. The 11th intentional walk that Trout has picked up this year. There's ball 3. Here comes Bannister. With him, I would imagine, comes the hook. But Shepard's ready to go in the bullpen. And sure enough, he's made the call. So pitching change. The Angels have them loaded with 2 outs here in the 8th. It's 5-4 Texas. Walk to face Albert Pujols, and it's Tanner Scheppers taking over on the mound for Jake Diekman. Scheppers pitching in his 6th game. 1-0 mark, a 5.40 ERA. Missed the bulk of the season after having microfracture surgery on his knee. He's facing Albert Pujols with Marte at third, Escobar at second, and Trout at first. Albert 1 for 6 in his career against Scheppers. With the bases loaded this year, Albert's hit .357 with 12 RBIs.
Always has been great in this position with the bases loaded.
Here's the first one from Scheppers, and it is in there for a strike.
Borderline call. Boy, Albert's last 7 plate appearances after Trout was intentionally walked. As you look at this pitch, maybe just touching the upper part of the strike zone. Albert sac fly, 2-run, 2 RBI double, 3-run home run, single, RBI single, and a walk. So he's been very good after an intentional walk. The Trout.
Got a fastball. Comes up empty, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Got to be ready if you're Marte in case he tries to break a ball in the dirt here.
Lucroy set up for a breaking ball, and it misses.
A lot of room on that right side of the infield if he throws something away just to punch that ball to the right side.
Shepard's ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Albert hits this one to short. Andrews has it. Will go on to first, and the Angels will leave them loaded. To the bottom of the 8th we go, with Texas still up 5-4.
Pitchers for tomorrow night's finale. Weave on the mound, 11-12 versus Derek Holland. Weaver, a 17-game career winner against Texas. Holland, 10 victories in his career versus the Angels.
Brett Oberholzer back out of the bump. He'll face Ryan Rua, who's going to pinch hit.
See, I'm always happy when Mazar is out of the game. They seem to make changes with him late, and he's had some good swings in this game.
Juan Gratterall, the new catcher. And Gregorio Petit stays in the game. He's at second. Mazar finishes the game going 2 for 3. Single on a 2-run blast as Rua gets jammed, pops it up into foul territory. Ji-Man Choi over, 1 down. Going to bring up Elvis Andrus. Elvis tonight 1 for 3 with a single and a couple of ground outs.
Good change up there from Oberholzer.
One ball, one strike. Halos in the 9th. We'll have Choi, Simmons, and Ortega. Those are the scheduled batters.
Spot on that fastball, lower part of the strike zone.
Here's 1-2. Inside, it hits Andrus on the hip. Oberholzer immediately ejected on a 1-2 pitch. He can't throw aside. And remember, benches were warned. And it really is not supposed to be automatic.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be at the discretion
Exactly.
of the home plate umpire if there was intent. Doesn't mean if automatically somebody gets hit.
Yeah, it's always, you have to, as a home plate umpire, it's always difficult when you see both sides a little testy here. But there's no way he's trying to throw in and hit him at that point in a 1-2 count.
In a one-run game in the bottom of the 8th.
Especially for a guy who can steal a base so easily. And that means Mike Scioscia's out of the game too.
So now another delay as the Angels will have to get a pitcher in here and get Lucid.
And you can see exactly where Gratterall's setting up. You see Oberholzer saying he's trying to pitch inside there.
Hey, no offense to Brett Oberholzer. If you're going to go out and hit somebody, the last guy on that pitching staff you would probably pick would be Brett Oberholzer.
He didn't do, there's no doubt he didn't do that one on purpose.
And I mean that just from the standpoint, if you're trying to exact revenge, you want somebody who's got a firm fastball. If that's the intent, what you're seeking. So it's Deolis Guerra coming on. He's got as much time as necessary. A pitching change. It's 5-4 Texas. Mike Scioscia and Brett Oberholzer have been ejected after Oberholzer hits Elvis Andrus on a 1-2 pitch. Andrus over at first base, and Deolis Guerra taking over here. Guerra coming into the ballgame for the 41st time. 3-0 record. ERA 3.20, 50-plus innings, 47 hits, 36 strikeouts. He's going to face eventually Carlos Gomez. And Guerra gets as much time as needed, but as a reliever, shouldn't need a whole lot of time, especially in this heat. Let's go back and see the hit by pitch.
Rated around just above the hip.
I'd imagine Guerra was, and it's automatic ejection after the benches were warned. Again, if there is intent, and according to Pat Hoberg, who's the home plate umpire, he felt that there was intent on that pitch from Brett Oberholzer, and that's why the immediate ejection, and the manager gets tossed as well.
I don't think there was any intent on that one at all. On that pitch, definitely not. But it's a tough situation to be in as a home plate umpire because the warning has already been out there. And most times, especially for a guy that can steal a base after you get hit by a pitch, you're going to be on the move right away.
Not sure how much longer Deolis Guerra needs. He's about working a full game here. He's taking his sweet time, though. So Guerra's ready to go. Andrus at first base, and would not surprise me at all to see him going on the very first offering, or
no doubt.
First couple of offerings, as Carlos Gomez is coming up.
It's 45 career steals for Andrus, 53 attempts against the Angels, 85% success rate.
Carlos Gomez tonight, 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double. Upstairs. Two and 0. Andrus, a pretty good lead over at first base, and they'll check in on him.
And Guerra's done a nice job as far as holding the baseball.
Two and 1.
Good action count now for the Rangers. 2-1, 1 out.
He had Desmond on deck. Gomez pops it up. Ji-Man Choi racing back in foul territory, can't make the play.
Choi going back on it. Very difficult to be able to catch it in that direction. You try to turn yourself around to be able to get a better view of the baseball, unable to do so. ends up hitting off the top of the glove. Would have been the second out of the inning.
Two count. One out and man at first. Andrews, bigger lead now. Long hold for Guerra once again.
Borderline pitch, upper part of the strike zone.
Full count now. Figure that
Andrews, yeah, for sure on the run. Shook off a fastball for a changeup.
Elvis on the move. Gomez a swing and a foul back. Huge lead for Andrews. Again on the move. Again, Gomez fouling it back.
Certainly hasn't got a good jump, though. Guerra's held the ball very, very well. So if Gomez does swing and miss, Gretel has a shot at a strike him out, throw him out.
The battle continues between Gomez and Guerra. This one's out toward right center field. Ortega makes the catch, 2 down. So Elvis back to first, 2 away, and here comes Ian Desmond. Center fielder, 1 for 4. He had a single back in the first. Got to keep this a 1-run deficit. Give yourself some sort of a chance in the 9th with Sam Dyson getting ready for Texas in their bullpen. 0-1.
And right now, another 1-run game for the Rangers.
(35-10) in 1-run games this year.
20-2 at home.
Bouncer foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
We'll try that changeup going down and away.
Last night, their 46th comeback win.
Shook off the changeup. Going to go with a slider instead.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Marte very deep in left. Ortega playing in a little bit in right. 2-2. Looking ahead to that 9th inning for the Angels. Ji-Man Choi scheduled to lead things off. Then Simmons, followed by Ortega. Mike Scioscia has been ejected, as has Brett Oberholzer earlier this inning. Oberholzer with 1 out and a 1-2 count on Andrews hit him after the benches had been warned. Pat Hobart making the decision to eject Oberholzer. That leads to an automatic ejection of the manager.
Second time Oberholzer has been ejected in his career.
43rd for Scioscia.
Yeah.
Big lead again for Andrews. 2-2. He's on the move. This was fouled back. That was a danger zone pitch. Texas with 12 hits tonight. They've stranded 8. The Angels with 7 hits have left 11 on base, including the bases loaded in the top of the 8th. Desmond, half-hearted swing, bounces this one to Escobar. We will head to the 9th. Texas up 5-4. Now he's got 34 saves on the season, a 3-2 mark and a 2.58 ERA. As we mentioned before, Ji-Man Choi is scheduled to lead things off. He'll be followed by Andrelton Simmons and then Rafael Ortega. New right fielder in the game, it's Jared Hoying taking over for Nomar Mazara, who was pinch hit for by Ryan Rupp. No other changes for Texas. The Angels trying to come back. They had an opportunity in the 8th inning against Jake Diekman and Tanner Scheppers. Trout was intentionally walked with 2 outs after the double by Escobar. It loaded the bases. Scheppers came in and got Albert to ground out to finish off the Angels' threat. This will be Ji-Man Choi's first plate appearance. 162 average, 5 home runs, and 12 runs batted in. First one's down low. Dyson pitched last night, went 1 inning, gave up a hit.
And he's got that power sinker, hard slider, changes speed with that, change up also.
He picked up the win last night, the walk-off victory for Texas. Choi hits one sharply towards second. Odor goes into a dive and it goes off his glove and it trickles into the outfield. And the Angels have their leadoff man on board to start the night. It's a sign right there of how quick this infield grass and outfield grass is.
No, it's hit well, but yeah, you're exactly right, Victor. Everything gets through here. It's almost like you're playing on AstroTurf. It's that quick. Odor had a pretty good jump on it. Dive off the glove and into the outfield. Well, good swing by Choi.
Here's Simmons. Angelton tonight 0 for 4. Takes up and in. It was the plate appearance with Simmons up in the 7th against Keone Kela. Kind of started the brouhaha, if you will, here. Kela throwing behind Simmons, and that's what forced the warnings. Craig Gibson, second base umpire, immediately making that decision. Foul at the plate.
Well, how much would Simmons like to do some damage here at this at bat?
Still no understanding as to why the Rangers would throw at Anderson. I can't imagine they took any exception to him slamming his bat when Martinez made that ridiculous catch on the liner.
No.
I mean, that's just a offensive player frustrated on a ridiculous play by the pitcher.
It's a game of emotion. Sports are filled with emotions.
2 balls, 1 strike. He didn't yell anything. He just threw the bat down in disbelief, like we all were in disbelief.
Exactly.
Play by Nick Martinez. It resulted in a double play.
Still think it has a lot to do with all the contact made between Simmons and Gomez.
Two-1. Bouncer back to the mound. Dyson fires to Odor for 1. The relay back to first in time, a double play. Nice turn by Odor because the lead by Dyson was not very good.
Yeah, he always has that movement no matter what, even on a throw to second. Right back at him, plenty of time to make a good throw. And he's got to reach back across the base and force that wide throw and that angle for Odor, but still able to turn it.
So the Halos down to the last out as Rafael Ortega's up. He's had a 1 for 4 game with a single in the 3rd. Rangers trying to shave down their magic number. At the start of the day, it was 3. They're looking for their 90th win of the season. Ortega takes a strike. Bouncer foul. And it's 0-2. Dyson ready, Ortega as well. 0-2. Called strike 3, and Texas has taken game 2 by the final of 5-4.
And another 1-run victory. Another one here at home now. 21-2 at home in 1-run games. 36 of them now, and 10 on the season for Texas. They pulled this one out 5-4 in a testy game between the two rivals.
That'll set up tomorrow's finale. The magic number for Texas is now 2. 5-4. Rangers take game 2. Stick around. Angels Live postgame coming up next.